In the world of boxing, confidence is often the difference between a fighter and a champion. But for Gervonta "Tank" Davis, it's not about proving anything to anyone else. He's reached a point in his career where validation no longer comes from the crowd or the critics. It comes from the grind, the long nights in the gym, and the satisfaction of knowing he's done the work. Davis says he doesn't get overly hyped after a win because there's always another challenge waiting. That's the cycle of greatness. There's always somebody next, another fighter, another name, another test. And right now, that test is Jake Paul. This isn't just another exhibition. It's a collision of two different worlds, one built on hard-earned respect, the other on the power of entertainment and influence. Gervonta Davis, the fighter molded by sweat and sacrifice, versus Jake Paul, the YouTube sensation who has transformed himself into a legitimate boxing draw. Behind the lights, the training, and the money, there's a deeper story unfolding, a clash between authenticity and ambition. In camp, Davis is a man possessed. Every session is brutal, every punch thrown with intent. His focus is on sharpening every weapon in his arsenal, not for fame, not even for validation, but for mastery. His coaches push him through endless drills designed to break and rebuild him. Every strike he throws strengthens his core, his timing, his durability. He knows how it feels to take the hardest shots imaginable, to feel bones rattle, to taste his own blood. That pain shaped him, and now it drives him. Each jab and hook is a reminder that greatness is forged through repetition, not reputation. Jake Paul, on the other hand, is treating this fight like the defining moment of his career. Whatever people think of him, actor, influencer, or showman, he understands the stakes. Facing Tank Davis isn't a publicity stunt. It's a real test of his evolution as a boxer. Paul has surrounded himself with elite sparring partners like Shakur Stevenson, Raymond Ford, and Montana Love. They challenge his speed, his reactions, and his composure. They force him to evolve beyond the spectacle, to dig deep and embrace the harsh reality of the fight game. There's something pure about seeing both men prepare. For Tank, it's about defending the art of boxing itself. For Jake, it's about earning a seat at the table among the fighters he's spent years trying to emulate. They train in different ways, but the purpose feels the same: to silence doubt and command respect. Trainer Calvin Ford, who has watched Tank grow from a hungry Baltimore kid into one of the sport's brightest stars, knows that what happens under the lights is just a reflection of what's done in the shadows. Every great performance begins with the grind. Ford reminds everyone that success in boxing doesn't come by chance. It's built from sacrifice, from those lonely moments in the gym when no one's watching. Tank has lived that reality since childhood. He's a product of discipline, of the kind of focus that only comes from hunger. Still, as this matchup approaches, the boxing world remains divided. Some see it as a spectacle, a circus driven by clicks and pay-per-view numbers. Others recognize it as a business move, a fight that gives Davis an unprecedented payday. Veteran trainer Abel Sanchez puts it bluntly: boxing isn't just a sport anymore, it's a financial battlefield. Fighters dedicate their lives to the craft, often leaving the sport broken and broke. Sanchez believes Davis has earned this moment. Even if the fight doesn't carry championship weight, the financial reward secures his future, and that, he says, is something every fighter deserves. But not everyone agrees. Purists argue that the sport is losing its essence, that the rise of influencer boxing has blurred the line between competition and entertainment. Jake Paul's career embodies that debate. He's bigger, heavier, and undeniably marketable. Yet many believe his fights come with advantages: rules adjusted, gloves altered, opponents hand-picked. Critics say he doesn't stage fights, he stacks the deck. And against Gervonta Davis, those same questions are surfacing again. Carl Froch and Paulie Malignaggi have both hinted that while the bout might not be rigged, it's tailored for maximum spectacle. They call it a circus with a scoreboard. The weight, the gloves, the round structure, everything is designed to build hype. But even with those conditions, one truth remains. If this fight becomes a test of pure skill, Davis holds every advantage. His precision, his experience, and his composure in high-pressure moments are unmatched. Shakur Stevenson, who knows the craft at its highest level, sees the matchup through a technical lens. He acknowledges Jake's physical edge, but insists that size alone doesn't win fights. Experience does. Skill does. Stevenson predicts that Tank won't chase a knockout, he'll dominate strategically. He'll use movement, IQ, and patience to control the fight. A knockout may not come, but the victory will be undeniable. Debate over weight continues to dominate discussions. The agreed limit of 195 pounds creates a massive disparity. Davis usually fights around 135 pounds. Jake has competed closer to 200, even tipping 227 in his exhibition with Mike Tyson. That difference raises legitimate safety concerns, yet Tank's supporters believe his technique and timing can neutralize the gap. Boxing has a history of smaller men outsmarting giants. Tank's team believes he's cut from that same cloth. Still, not everyone is sold on the idea. Robert Garcia, respected for his decades in the sport, admits he's conflicted. He understands why Tank took the fight. It's life-changing money, but he worries it came too soon. To him, Davis still has unfinished business in boxing. There are rivalries unresolved, rematches never granted. He compares it to Floyd Mayweather or Muhammad Ali taking exhibitions only after conquering their divisions. Garcia believes Tank should have cleared his legacy first, then chased the spectacle. But as he admits, when millions are on the table, no one says no. Bernie Thaw, another veteran voice in the sport, takes a harsher stance. He's tired of hearing that Tank deserves the payday. To him, Tank is already rich. What boxing needs now isn't more money fights, it's meaning. It's competition that reminds people why they fell in love with the sport in the first place. He calls out the industry for glorifying cash over craft, reminding fans that greatness isn't measured in bank accounts, but in legacy. And that's where this fight sits between two worlds. On one side, Tank Davis represents the traditional path, the childhood gyms, the mentors, the years of sparring, the belts earned one by one. On the other, Jake Paul represents the modern machine, digital fame, mass attention, viral influence. This isn't just a fight between two men, it's a reflection of what boxing has become. It's old-school grit versus new-age marketing. Both men have their reasons, their motivations, and their critics. But when the bell rings in Miami, all the talk disappears. It won't matter who sold more pay-per-views, who posted more training clips, or who had the bigger following. It'll come down to timing, precision, and heart. And in that ring, there's no algorithm, only truth. This fight isn't about who started where, it's about who finishes stronger. Davis fights for legacy. Paul fights for validation. And when those two collide under the lights, it might just redefine what boxing means in this era. So what do you think? Will Gervonta Tank Davis remind the world that skill and experience still reign supreme? Or will Jake Paul shock everyone and continue rewriting the rules of boxing fame? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love deep boxing breakdowns like this one, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from inside the ring, where pride, power, and legacy are always on the line.